of these races. So in just a few moments on your screen, we are going to be getting underway as they greet the king and take his stuff.
Oh, their starting strength is a wonderful 7. That can really help our runners, kind of, sort of, maybe. We're getting plenty of gold out of the treasury. And what else? Plenty of gold. Look at this. 3 gold chests in the treasury.
Tantagle's been collecting their taxes very well this year, it would seem. So all of our racers, I think, are going to be hoping against hope that there's a town nearby where they can spend some of that money to gear themselves up for the trials ahead. And speaking of money, we've just got a little bit more inside of that treasury. We've also got a dragon scale. And we have an early death necklace, which is probably just going to sit there and accumulate in value for all of our players for now.
And it looks like we have Smashy doing a grind. I believe that was the herb. So I believe he is doing an herb grind right now, I think.
That is indeed the case. Going to maximize on healing items early on here. And just so happens that the last chest that he's looked at has gold in it. So he's going to pick up to about 3,000 gold, and looks like he's going to save that amount and try to reach a town early on here.
Looks like Seawolf is doing the herb grind as well. Meanwhile, we have High Spirits trying to run away from a warlock in a cave underneath Tantagel Castle. This might be the mountain cave.
It can be a little difficult to tell during the dark when you're in combat, but High Spirits certainly seems to know where he's going at the very least here. Couple of enemies that don't hit particularly hard. One of these might be potential first kill here, but with that low strength and enemies tending to have much higher defense than normal in Chaos, we'll have to see. And yes, I think I can confirm at this point that we are inside the mountain cave.
And that 29 agility that our runners are starting out with is certainly helping them absorb some of these hits.
Absolutely. Not to mention that quick dragon scale providing an extra 2 points of defense, which really can't hurt this early on.
And it looks like High Spirits are going to be sent back to the throne room by the Armored Knight. Meanwhile, we have Smashy taking on a Metal Scorpion and Seawolf taking on a Warlock. Let's see if either one of them can get in our first kill of the match.
Seawolf appears to have abandoned attempting to defeat the Warlock. He's trying to run away, so he must have landed 5 hits and is thinking it's perhaps not worth going much further than that right now.
And so we have High Spirits venturing outside of the castle.
Swampy terrain and no town in immediate sight here. We've got a Drakey on High Spirits side here. Also not hitting particularly hard, but still, that high defense on the early Chaos monsters can be a problem.
Looks like Seawolf is going to take a little bit more gold for his travels, and probably, I don't know if he used any herbs downstairs, but maybe refresh on herbs if he did. Smashy's still hitting his head up against a Metal Scorpion.
Smashy making very good use of that early game headbutt technique. Metal Scorpion is still alive and kicking, though.
Yeah, you got to think he's trying to, at this point, hope for a critical attack or something. Oh, and we do see Sharlock Castle on the other side of Tantagel Castle, kind of beyond a river there next to Tantagel.
The endgame walk is not going to be particularly long, perhaps. It is separated by a river, so I guess it depends on how the land wraps around down there. Could be on an entirely new continent for all we know, though, however.
It certainly doesn't appear to be an easy walk. They might have to go down and around, see if that's available.
And we've got a couple quick resets already on both High Spirits and Smashy's side here, trying to hold on to their gold and hopefully find a town. We know that there's nothing particularly close off to the right so far. There's quite a lot of swamp to the north and the west of the castle, so might be a tall order to make it somewhere with all that gold intact.
And it looks like High Spirits and Smashy are both engaged in a couple of slap fights here with a blue dragon and a stone man.
Yeah, High Spirits is indeed slapping Phil Taylor around there. It is right outside the castle. It could be the starting 5 hit point enemy. We will just have to wait and see.
Seawolf finding the Staff of Rain cave and then gets sent back to the throne room by a Droll Magi.
Still got a bit of a slap fight going on there. Looks like the Blue Dragon is not going to get it done.
Looks like Seawolf restocking a little bit, and now we just are gonna see what we can do here. I'm a little surprised that somebody like Smashy or Seawolf doesn't try to go north, because they do have a ton of herbs stocked up, so they do have enough herbs to try to make that jaunt up to the north, see if maybe there's a town up there.
And it looks like that is indeed what Seawolf is attempting to do, but it looks like a dead-end peninsula, so we might just have to hunt around for that first kill here. Luckily, they only need 9 experience points to level 2, so that first kill is just about guaranteed to get it.
Yep, there is nothing to the north confirmed, so it looks like we're going to have to wait a little bit here and try to get our, figure out what our quote-unquote noodle is.
Noodle being the term that's colloquially used to define what the first kill is in Chaos. Inside the first zone, you are guaranteed to find one enemy with 5 hit points. It's also going to give at most 64 experience points and should not be able to do more than 1 or 2 damage to the player, regardless of their starting stats. However, it can have absurdly high agility, so that's why we're seeing a few slap fights here, as players are hunting around for that elusive first kill.
We have High Spirits grinding on a Drakey, deciding, nope, Drakey ain't the easy monster. Meanwhile, we have Seawolf trying for a hero run in the mountain cave.
Another bold strategy, but from what we've seen of the mountain cave so far, the enemies, at least on the first floor, haven't been too threatening so far, so might be something useful in those chests that helps out, and, well, the armor is right there, so that's certainly going to make things quite a little bit easier. Still have to get over the hump of that first kill, though. It doesn't help us too much just at the moment.
No, but now that opens up the possibility of walking around Tantagel Castle, and, maybe the zone that Smashing High Spirits are in is actually Zone 1, and Zone 0 is actually in the swamp. So it could be now Seawolf could open up that Zone 0 and be able to find our weak enemy.
That is entirely true. It's kind of difficult to know exactly where the 4 zones right around the castle are intersecting until you've more or less gotten a battle on every square, so that little desert area to the right of the castle might be in a different zone, and the easy kill definitely might not be there. You are quite right. And it looks like High Spirits might be thinking that, as he is attempting to get into a combat inside of the swamp right now. Of course, High Spirit not aware that that armor is just sitting there right below the castle. If you're willing to be just a little bit bold and strike through the darkness and get a little bit lucky.
Alright, so we have Seawolf now, possibly emboldened by his get of the armor, trying to expand his searching a little bit. Meanwhile, we have Smashy trying to take on a Meds Drakey, and it ain't going well.
It's another slap fight. It could be the Magi Drakey. We know for sure it's not that wizard that High Spirits ran into, as that was a one-hit kill, as we see Seawolf running into said wizard quite a bit further away from the castle, however.
Game Boy F9 pointing out an interesting idea in chat. Do we see somebody possibly maybe put on the death necklace to try to get some of these early levels?
It's certainly a possibility that extra 10 attack power could make all the difference, since you don't really know what the enemy's defense are. It's a huge risk, though, with no Brecconary in sight. And no real ability to heal yourself at all if you do pass away.
Smashy does actually get the first kill of the seed. I believe he actually did take down that Magidrakey, but for 6 experience.
Very disappointing amount, but yeah, it looks like that Magidrakey might be the first kill, and we've got Smashy still just walking around in the plains there. Looks like he's looking for another one, since he knows he can at least get his feet on the ground with another kill of one of those.
High spirits now, and here's that Magidrakey that Smashy did wind up killing. So if Smashy can take down another Magidrakey, he will be our first to level 2, and we shall see if level 2 has anything useful.
Seems to be more a question of when rather than if here. It's just going to be a little bit of a slap fight, and if things get hairy, Smashy still has a good supply of herbs.
And there it is. So I do believe we can say very safely that the Magidrakey is the noodle in this seed. Of course, no power. Level 2 is not good.
Not quite the stats that we were looking for to get much of anywhere else here. And the question now, of course, is how much experience to level 3? How many Magidrakeys must we slay?
I'm a little surprised. Smashy hasn't checked that with the king yet, but Smashy's gonna take a look around. So is Seawolf.
And we've got both Smashy and Seawolf making some headway to the south of the continent there.
That cave we see on Seawolf's side is the Staff of Rain cave. So we've seen. Oh, we have a town on Seawolf's side. Watch this be Hawksness.
We're going to have to wait just a moment here. We've got a Droll Magi trying to prevent us from reaching town, and no, 1 tile away. There it is. 2 minutes for trying to have fun. Back to start with ye.
I'm imagining Seawolf is now going to get some more gold, get another herb, and try the run again now that he knows where the town is.
Seems to be the play to try right now for sure. With that armor, he definitely has a much easier time walking around on the world map, and with the prices of stores being hilariously random, there is a good chance he'd be able to at least pick up some sort of weapon which might help him get started on the first few kills here.
Yeah, even something like a bamboo pole would be an improvement over what they currently have. Meanwhile, we do have High Spirits taking on his another Magidrakey here, so hopefully he can get rid of this one and get to level 2, which we know to be quite underwhelming.
And that was odd. I don't foresee any difficulty for High Spirits here, and there is in fact the kill. He's going to move up to level 2 and probably be just a little bit annoyed when he sees what those stats are.
And the Fun Police get in Seawolf's way, but Seawolf can run from the Fun Police.
Surviving with 1 measly hit point left there. Not so lucky the second time, it seems, unfortunately.
So, now, Seawolf doesn't know it, but if Seawolf were to go left and check out that Magidrakey, that 11 agility that they get at level 2 could actually make the difference for Seawolf here. He might be able to run away more easily from those Droll Magi and the Red Dragons that inhabit that town's area.
There's no question of might, but the real question is how difficult is that run check anyway? Don't really know what the Red Dragons or the Droll Magi's agility stats are like. They could be massive, and while the agility gain might in theory help, your chances of running away could still be practically nil.
Okay, so we have 23 experience points to the next level on Smashy's side. So that would be 35 total experience. So, yeah, a few more Magidrakes. I'm a little surprised. We'll see. We'll see if Smashy decides to grind on them. Because that would make a lot of sense to me, is just to grind on these Magidrakes.
The great unknown of what level 3 could bring. Could be quite enticing right now. Certainly not for Seawolf, as he approaches. We've actually got 2 towns there. Blocked by the Strawberry Wyvern, tries again, gets away. He's 2 tiles away from town, and he makes it. First town is Rimmeldar, so there is indeed a shop and at least 1 treasure chest. Exactly 1 treasure chest, I should say.
And we'll see if there's anything useful here in this particular... Oh, wait, we have a cursed belt, which is a nice little source of gold should Seawolf need about 100 more gold to buy something here. But let's take a look at what is in the shop in Rimmeldar. We have...
Seawolf considering selling his legendary armor, but thinks twice of it. He's going to pick up the bamboo pole for 1 gold, and that's about all that we have that's of use in that shop. A little underwhelming here.
Alright, so now he's going to travel to the south. Hopefully there is another shop in here, and it is the town of Coal. So we do have another shop here, and we have a searchable tile.
And in the coal mine, Seawolf finds a silver harp. And looks like he's going to head right to that shop and sell off that cursed belt right away. And a healthy supply of dragon scales. And selling the Dex necklace as well, looks like there.
And I do believe Smashy has gotten the Erdrick's armor. I do believe.
He has indeed, as he collects just a few bamboo poles and now some harp knights. We've got the token as well for Smashy on the lower floor of the mountain cave. And an actual weapon has been purchased. Seawolf now equipped with a broadsword.
Now that's going to make grinding levels very, I would hope, quite easier for Seawolf now, because the broadsword, I do believe, is at plus 20 to attack power.
It is indeed plus 20 attack power. That should make a difference on at least a few of these enemies. This wyvern, no, but Seawolf did also stock up on torches, which can be disposed of for some quick damage. As you see him tossing torches like a madman at this wyvern, hoping desperately that it will go down. And High Spirits has now also made it over to Rimmeldar, and likely also will be a little disappointed in the selection at the shop. However, that full plate actually means something for High Spirits, since he hasn't located Erdrick's armor yet. So he's going to pick up his pole and full plate, and God's willing, he'll make it down to the next town and pick up that broadsword as well in Cole.
Indeed. Now, we do have Seawolf getting back to start here, so I'm wondering if now he might try to grind up on some of the enemies around here.
Whole new ball game when you've got an actual bat in your hands.
Nope, and there goes the wizard, and there is probably a bunch of levels for Seawolf.
Yeah, smack a wizard for 4 damage, and down it goes. High attack power on that wizard, but very low hit points. We've got up to level 4, we've learned Radiant and Heal More, and we've got another wizard. That's going to be slapped away for yet another 142 experience gain, and at least 1 more level. Seawolf very clearly off and running at this point.
Yep, and some more MP and the spell of Return. Jubail asks who the noodle is. We're pretty sure that the noodle is the Magidrake. that is located to the left of Tantagel Castle, but it could also be the wizard that Seawolf has just dispatched of. Oh, the Drakey survives an excellent move.
Actually, Zed, the noodle can be neither of those monsters because the noodle is guaranteed to give between 16 and 64 experience upon defeat.
Oh, good point. I forgot about the minimum. I did forget about it. I forgot about the maximum temporarily. But, wow, so I guess we haven't seen the noodle yet.
I think there's a good chance we'll find out what it is before long. We've got High Spirits stocking up on some torches here, so he should find out what it is in pretty short order, assuming he doesn't make it to pick up that broadsword as well, since Torch is guaranteed to be a one-hit kill against such an enemy. Nice, excellent move against that red dragon, but 27's not going to cut it, and High Spirits is heading back to the start. The good news, though, is that he has a weapon and a healthy supply of torches, so he can start getting a few kills in and getting some experience levels under his belt.
Meanwhile, we have Seawolf getting up to level 7. His MP and HP totals are really nice for level 7, and having the Heal and Heal More spell is awesome. Just, they don't have much strength at level 7, unfortunately.
No, the strength is a little concerning, but the ability to explore is definitely there now as well, so Seawolf comfortably moving along here. We've got a wizard kill, looks like it was for High Spirits, so he's up to level 4 now. Nine damage, not enough for the Stone Man, but 18 is, and there's another 129 experience for High Spirits, and that he'll put him up to level 5. Smashy has gone north from the area with the 2 towns. That's how you get to Sharlock, so not too long of a run, probably about a rappel's worth of steps away.
Ooh, and Drakimas have baby breath.
Seawolf starting to explore with those higher stats, up to level 9, and we've got Hurtmore for Seawolf at level 9. High Spirits just hit level 7 as well, so levels coming quickly and hard here with that broadsword in hand.
Yeah, so I have a hunch now this seed is really going to take off now for Seawolf and High Spirits. They have Heal More, they have Hurt More. Seawolf has Erdrick's armor, and they both have the broadsword. I have a hunch now it's just going to come down to a whole bunch of exploration, finding the things that they need. Both of them already have the Silver Harp, though.
Indeed they do. Well, Seawolf actually just traded in his career as indie artist for one in meteorology and has picked up his Staff of Rain.
Let's see if Seawolf decides to get a little revenge on this Droll Magi.
Firing off that Hurtmore. No effect, so we've got some Hurtmore resist on that Droll Magi as Spirits has reached level 9. Hurtmore is the Drakey. Drakey has more than 58 hit points. Gonna take a swing, but not more than 70. Drakey's worth 168. Pretty nice chunk of change there.
We have Smashy and High Spirits each taking on a blue dragon.
Smashy at somewhat of a disadvantage, though, with only the bamboo pole in that level 2. But the blue dragon not hitting hard, so given enough swings, he should be able to take it down.
Yeah, but High Spirits, I think, needed 3 or 4 swings at 15 to 20 each to take out the blue dragon. Smashy could be here for a long time, going by 1s and 2s.
Yes, definitely. It'll be interesting to see if Smashy considers a sunk cost fallacy or not here, or just keeps swinging away until it goes down. A lot of herbs in stock and not much damage being taken. We've got level 11 for High Spirits now. Really nice chunk of hit points and magic points at that level.
Star Wyverns need 2 Hurtmores to go down and give 13 experience. Not exactly a nice total there.
Not the greatest investment of resources, no, I must agree. We've got another cave, got the Radiant spell being cast, and we've got the Swamp Cave South for the Seawolf. as High Spirits is going to be heading back into that mountain cave here. With his inflated level, I don't think he's going to have too much difficulty getting through here, and he should pick up that nice piece of armor and that token before too long.
Now the question is he going to be able to clear this cave now? Which I would hope he'd be able to at this level.
We haven't seen too much of the enemies on the lower floor. We know that the higher floors are really, the highest floor I should say, is really not a concern at all. So getting to the second floor is pretty much a guarantee. Seawolf steps out of the other side of Swamp Cave onto perhaps a new continent, not 100% sure yet. We've got another cave right away, and this is the grave. 5 more chests for searching here, so Seawolf is off and plundering the tomb.
So really the things that we are still looking for here, we're looking for the Stones of Sunlight, we're looking for Erdrick's Token, and Erdrick's Sword, although that's not necessarily a hard requirement. It is sure looking very nice for this seed, given the lack of strength we have right now.
Indeed. Well, the token, we do know where it is. It is in the bottom floor of Mountain Cave, and High Spirit should be picking that up right now. Yes, there it is. And we've got the stones for Sea Light over on the top floor of Garen's grave. So we've found all the plot-related items. We just need to find that jerk and find Erdrick's Sword. This seed is taking off at a breakneck pace now.
Of course, the last time I commentated one of these the other night, the seed, I believe we had a runner in Sharlock at 25 minutes, and the winning time was just barely sub-hour, thanks to a wonderful Dragon Lord 1 and 2.
Oh yes, of course, the great unknown in Chaos is how nasty can that final battle be. We're still a bit away from that yet, but we are closing in on that fairly quickly, at least were we to combine the combined knowledge and statistics of High Spirits and Seawolf. Smashy still pounding away at this blue dragon. I dare say this must be the longest single encounter in the history of Dragon Warrior Randomizer down on Smashy's side there. I really hope for his sake that this blue dragon just spontaneously dies of a heart attack here, because this is taking a long, long time.
Slimes take 2 hurt mores and give 54 experience. Not a real good resource use there either.
No, but in Chaos, you really don't know until you try. All you can do is see what works and what doesn't, and try to stick to the good and keep away from the bad.
Fourth chest in the grave is gold, and we do have Smashy finally taking off that blue dragon.
Only 71 experience, but that does get Smashy up to level 3, and that will help out a little bit here, but it's not quite as overwhelmingly strong as some of the later levels have proven to be. And we've got High Spirits burninating the countryside with Hurt More, taking out these red dragons for a cool 156 experience a pop.
Now, we haven't seen any of those real experience-rich enemies, those enemies that give 200 plus experience relatively simply. So, High Spirits is taking what he can get for certain.
Well, while we've not seen those, there are quite a plethora of enemies there that are worth about 120 to 160 or so, it doesn't take too long to get up there. It was only, I believe, about 1,000 experience to level 11, and we've got at least one more level over on High Spirit's side. We've finally got a bit of power, nice agility, and MP gains. Strength, still perhaps a little low for being level 13 here, but all the other stats are looking quite nice now.
And of course, I say that, and Seawolf takes down a gold man that is worth 253 experience. Not overly difficult to take out either. About 4 attacks, but it's a nice source of XP right there.
Absolutely, Smashy could definitely go for something like that right now. He's still engaging in slap fights near Tantegel Castle. Unfortunately, Smashy just no luck getting to the towns there where that very, very important broadsword lies.
And we have Seawolf now bashing on another gold man who we do know. Oh, poltergeists! They go down to 1 hurt more and give 223 experience over in High Spirit side.
Those are some pretty good eats, gots to say. Another gold man over there for Seawolf. And Goldman, not a very difficult encounter, of course. Doesn't hit too hard, and on top of that, only has a weak hurt spell in its arsenal.
It does have the spell of heal, but their attacks can bust through that at this point. Seawolf. 2 names start with S. A little confusing at times. Seawolf now reaching the bottom of the grave, and we'll see what's in that final chest. And it's just a vial of fairy water. Okay, now we're going to explore the other continent on Seawolf's side, and meanwhile on High Spirit side, we're going to do some exploration of the main continent here.
Now, High Spirit's taking down another high experience yield. That Druin worth a solid 155 points.
Meanwhile, the Scorpion worth a cool 5. Now let's see if Seawolf is going to do the meme here and validate the seed by searching this 1-tile spark over bridge here.
Seawolf is indeed doing it. If he loses by about 10 seconds, that decision could come back to haunt him.
And it looks like this continent... Oh, okay, there's a path here. We go across some more bridges. This continent is looking more and more desolate by the minute.
Small is not necessarily bad, because then you can cross it off your list of places to explore. And we've got another wizard kill, so that should bring Seawolf up to level 13.
And there we go. Now, it'll be interesting to see if Seawolf goes back into the castle and digs out the rest of Mountain Cave.
There's a big level up for High Spirits. 31 power at level 14.
Well, there's the power they need.
Yes, absolutely. Those stats are looking entirely reasonable to give Sharlock a shot once you're able to enter there. Still a little bit of item collecting needed to be done for both High Spirits and Seawolf here, as Smashy is doing some exploring now. He's actually getting quite close to those towns there, so let's hope that he can make it there, pick up a broadsword, and get things moving for him here, because he definitely has some ground to make up right now.
Indeed. And Seawolf here is actually making a really nice play, because he's going back into the mountain cave, and he's going to find his Erdrick's token here in the bottom of the mountain cave. So he's going to have everything he needs to get into Sherlock once he finds the Rainbow Drop Cave, or as we affectionately call him, the Jerk.
Yeah, that's one of the big unknowns, one of the caves that we have not seen yet. We've seen just about the inside of every other cave. A few towns we haven't seen yet as well, but Jerk Cave is required, so that's the big one to find right now. And we do in fact have Smashy inside the town of Cole. So he's going to pick up his silver harp and going to be breathing a huge sigh of relief when he checks the inventory at this shop and picks up that glorious, glorious broadsword.
And Seawolf does in fact snag his token. So now Smashy can get into the game by actually being able to hurt things.
Level-wise, Smashy should catch up pretty quickly with how generous a lot of the experience yields are here, and to his credit, he does have a fair bit of information about some of the monsters there. But yeah, running into a couple of wizards like that's going to get him caught up pretty quickly there. He's just tripled his experience total with one swing of that beautiful broadsword.
And Smashy, making his way through the swamp cave, will make his way into the grave here and will find his stone and some sunlight, assuming he can get there.
A little bit of a tougher walk for Smashy than for the others, as they've been comfortably right around level 11 at this point. Well, High Spirit still has to find this part of the map, but yeah, there it is. Stones of Sunlight for Smashy. So Smashy does, in fact, have all the ingredients necessary for that rainbow drop. He's not completely out of this with how quickly he could theoretically catch up in levels, so just a matter of getting that broadsword has definitely gotten Smashy back into the race. He just needs some quick kills to try to make this thing competitive here. And we've got Breckenary on High Spirit's side there.
Breckenary, of course, being its usual useful self, but hey, it's got a 6 gold in. I don't believe we have seen a large or a silver shield yet. Oh,
not to my knowledge, no.
Or was there a large shield in Breckenary and we missed it? Because Kemi and Renokai, one of our trackers, is mentioning something about a reasonably priced large shield.
Yes, looks like High Spirits did in fact pick up a large shield, so probably content with his equipment setup here, minus the weapon, of course.
Yeah, I would imagine if he finds Cantlin, he'll check the shops for a silver shield, but won't be overly upset if it's not there.
10 defense is nothing to sneeze at when you're upgrading your shield there, but of course large shield usually what most players will end up with the majority of the time, but in Chaos, with the prices being as random as they are, that silver shield could go for a single gold, so you never know.
So it looks like Seawolf is now going to explore south of the swamp cave, which we're pretty sure is an area we haven't seen High Spirits explore yet.
High Spirits has not found the swamp cave yet, no, but High Spirits has found town in far eastern reaches of the map. And that droll with some very, very nasty breath probably should brush his teeth just a little bit more often there. But High Spirits knows heal more, so might as well try to defeat it.
And the droll's like, so do I.
And that is a hard pass, it would seem. He encounters every step for High Spirits, but he does make it to town, and yes, it is Cantlin. Looks like going to have a peek for a cheap flame sword or a cheap silver shield. Nothing of interest behind shop number 1. Meanwhile, on the bottom left of your screen, Smashy has gotten in the expected quick kills and is very quickly jumped up to level 9.
And we do have a semi-reasonably priced silver shield at just a shade under 6,000 gold pieces in Cantlin.
Unfortunately, High Spirit's about 2,000 short of that price tag. And we've got our coordinates, 44 north and 27 east. That'd be a doozy to count on this map with that nasty river separating you from the Sherlock half of the continent, though the item on the world map should be over there. If our runners are perhaps able to mentally assign coordinates to a tile on the other side of that river, it could be done without rescuing the princess, I suppose. And we've got the Staff of Rain for Smashy, who has reached level 11 just by simply walking that cave and swatting aside the flies in their way.
And we do have Seawolf reaching level 14 and that massive strength increase and finding the town of Hawksness.
And we've got Garenham on High Spirits' side here. Another small shield for sale there, but no flame sword. So I don't believe any of our shops are carrying a flame sword on this seed.
We have a Demon Knight on the trap tile here, so let's see if this Demon Knight certainly has a high agility, absorbing 3 hits and 6 hits, so this is not necessarily a good thing. Let's see what Hurt More can do.
Hurt More connects, and that's not quite enough, so gonna be another. We've found the Jerk. The Jerk is underneath Garenham. And the Demon Knight has been slain. 180 experience, and the biggest of sticks inside Hawksness. That'll up Seawolf's damage output against this Demon Knight, and looks like Seawolf's gonna have a few combats here with that 180 price tag, and who can blame them?
Yeah, I certainly can't blame him at this point.
Well, we now know where everything is. Our racers certainly don't. They've all found a few different things here, but the path to the end of this seed, we know what it is. It's not unreasonable to think that this seed could be another sub-hour seed, the way things are shaping up here.
It's all going to depend on how trolly that those Dragon Lords choose to be in this particular seed.
Absolutely. Will Dragon Lord 2 have some nasty abilities on hand? Will Dragon Lord 1 have some nasty abilities? Will it be able to attack the players for triple-digit damage? We don't know just yet. And Seawolf has found the last location for us. This is the Tablet Cave, and we know that there is going to be something of value at the bottom of this cave, unfortunately.
Yeah, the only thing of value I think that is left out there is the Fighter's Ring. So is this maybe a dive just to check, see if it's the Fighter's Ring?
Maybe it was. As far as Seawolf is concerned there, that might be the only particularly valuable thing left in a chest there. Seawolf basically just needs to trade in for the drop and ideally pick up some sort of a shield to boost that defense stat.
Meanwhile, High Spirits did make the count and found that the search spot was the Fairy Flute. Now, Smashy found the town of Hawksness, and I'm not sure if Smashy got Erdrick's Sword or not out of Hawksness.
Yeah, very good count for High Spirits there. Unfortunately, not. He was Spirits, of course, hoping that the sword would be there, but we know that that is on the search spot in Hawksness. Speaking of, High Spirits has just found Hawksness, so High Spirits should be picking up that Erdrick's Sword very soon.
So, trying to think if there's anything that has gone unfound in this seed other than the Fighter's Ring, and I'm pretty sure we've seen everything.
Yeah, the Fighter's Ring at this point probably castle. Smashy, meanwhile, has made it up to level 13, so, as predicted, the experience gap not as much to overcome as you might think here. And, Smashy, like High Spirits, still looking for the location of the trade-in for the Rainbow Drop, which we know is under Garenham, and Smashy also looking for that sword, which High Spirits just picked up by slaying the Demon Knight inside of Hawksness.
And we have to thank Edgeworth for the raid, or Edgestream for the raid. We very much appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Just don't take anything that is nailed down or on fire, please. For those of you just joining us, this is the final race of Week 2 for the 2020 Dragon Warrior Randomizer League. We've got High Spirits on your top left, the Seawolf on your top right, Smashy on your bottom left. I am Jactimus Wedge on commentary, joined by Zedman. Your restreamer for tonight is the very respectable Lord of the Synth, and handling some of the technical behind-the-scenes stuff, we have Brian Williams and Camion Renukai. Give it up for all the humans involved in the spectacle tonight, except for me, because I'm awful.
Just to give everybody a quick recap of what's been going on so far, this is actually a pretty reasonable chaos seed so far. As you can see with the stats kind of flashing to and fro, Smashy and Seawolf all have what they need to find. Well, they've seen Sherlock, but they have what they need for the rainbow drop. They just have not seen Garanham, which we know the jerk is in the bottom of Garanham. High Spirits, meanwhile, this is his first jaunt through the swamp cave. Or no, is he in the grave now? No, swamp cave. So this is his first jaunt through the swamp cave, and on the other end of the swamp cave is the grave, which is where his missing stones of sunlight are. So this is a pretty reasonable seed for our runners right now. We should be heading toward the final grind / battle shortly.
Yeah, very shortly in High Spirits' case, because we know that those stones are on the top floor, and it's not unreasonable to expect High Spirits to make a beeline for Garanham as soon as he picks those up, because he has absolutely everything else that is needed right now. So High Spirits certainly in the driver's seat for this one at the moment.
Although Seawolf now finding Sherlock Castle again. And I do believe Garanham was north of Sherlock Castle, but I can't remember exactly where to the north, because north of Sherlock Castle is a pretty wide open area, I do believe.
It was quite the trek to get to the area where Ken and Garanham were in the far eastern reaches of the map. We'll be given the Cliff Note version of the path on High Spirit's side, since that is most definitely where he is heading right now. And Seawolf has just located Garanham.
And he will be happy to see the rainbow drop man in the back of Garanham, and be interesting to see. He'll probably cast Return immediately and head back to Tantagel Castle, and off to Sherlock he'll go.
Yes, I certainly would think so there. High Spirits the experience lead, but Seawolf is going to be the first to claim the drop and possibly get into Sherlock if that's what they elect to do from here. We've got Smashy on the southern central part of the map right now. The entrance to the swamp cave was. Smashy's already been through there and cleared the stones. So, let's see what Smashy wants to do here.
And Iswoogie, thank you very much for your raid, and welcome to those of you from that stream. We're tuning into this final race of Week 2 of the 2020 Dragon Warrior Randomizer League. Hope everybody's doing well.
High Spirits taking a quick peek at their stats there as they're making their way back towards Garanham to trade everything in. Seawolf already has done so and pretty much has everything that they want. Lumbering over those foothills is High Spirits. Garanham not too far away, just down in that desert. Yes, there it is.
And it looks like Seawolf is headed back in the Sherlock direction.
Certainly appears to be so. Meanwhile, Smashy just looks like they're wanting to just confirm that they've been everywhere on that tiny second continent here. Smashy still needing to find both Hawksness and Garanham to pick up the Erdrick Sword and the Rainbow Drop. And High Spirits is inside Garanham and going to collect their Rainbow Drop momentarily, and Seawolf is fighting, appropriately enough, A Wolf outside of Sharlock. So we'll get our first look into the inside of Sharlock Castle very shortly.
But not before Seawolf takes out a few Drakimas with 1 hit and 205 experience, which is really nice.
Yeah, moving that experience total up there. And looks like we're going to need about 6,300 experience to reach level 16 if High Spirits opts to go for the next level. And based on how much experience a lot of the enemies are dropping, I wouldn't be too surprised to see High Spirits slap away a few easy monsters on the walk to Sharlock in hopes of getting just a little bit more strength or HP added to their pool.
So we do have Seawolf here checking out the Sharlock treasury. I'm guessing he's looking for the fighter's ring.
Yes, and there it is, dead center.
Alright, so now I would imagine we'll see Seawolf doing a little bit of grinding here, as I don't think he's in a position to really take on the Dragon Lord just yet. Unless he wants to do some scouting. You know, I could see him maybe try one run at the Dragon Lord just to see, you know, if the Dragon Lord has anything.
Right you are. Since it is Chaos, the abilities of the last boss can vary quite a bit. It could be very easy, so even though the stats are maybe not what you'd want to go through in more standard randomizer flags, it's not impossible that the last boss is weak, and this might be enough even at level 14 here, because we do know that unfortunately there are no strength gains for the next 2 levels, as High Spirits has just reached level 16.
Yeah, level 16 was abjectly terrible. So looks like High Spirits is going to do some more fighting, and hopefully level 17 isn't too far away.
And you have to think with the Hurtmores being cast that this is very much just a research excursion for Seawolf into the bowels of Sharlock.
Yeah, absolutely. I would think this is recon more than anything else. He's going to take a look, see what the mini boss is here on this trap tile coming up soon, and then see how good or bad Dragon Lords 1 and or 2 are.
It's not a terrible idea. I mean, it's not as if Rimmildar, where you can just use the inn and heal, is too far away from Sharlock Castle. Looks like the mini-boss is going to be a red dragon here. And no, they are not the usual red dragons. They do not hit like a truck.
$156 experience points, not the worst grind spot, if absolutely necessary.
No, so Seawolf is going to challenge the Dragon Lord, so we'll see what we get here. Dragon Lord 1 does no sleep, and doesn't hit particularly hard, mercifully. And Dragon Lord 1 also has hurt, so Dragon Lord 1, while perhaps going to be a little bit annoying with those sleep spells, basically looks like a pushover here.
Yeah, and rolled low on HP, too. So Dragon Lord 1 is very much a pushover.
Now, Dragon Lord 2, its secondary stats are basically the same always. It will always have the same attack and defense values. Its hit points can vary considerably on Chaos, and you'll never really know whether or not it has any particular other moves. We did see Seawolf try to cast a stop spell, which did not stick, but Dragon Lord did not attempt to cast Sleep, so it's fairly likely that the Dragon Lord does not have the Sleep spell. And over on High Spirit side, he's hit level 18, 2 very quick level ups there from that one combat, and got 12 power, so you have to think High Spirits is going to start making some attempts at finishing this thing off right now.
Yeah, I would think.
On the Seawolf side, I think Seawolf might just try right again here at level 14 based on how relatively well that went last time. Just a matter of not having full MP and maybe gave up on that Dragon Lord fight too a bit prematurely. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, indeed. These are all of our 3 runners here on screen are playing the same seed. Okay, so it is a race to finish the game on the same seed. But the thing is with the 2020 Dragon Warrior League is every week there is new groupings and new flag sets. So this week is what we term chaos, which is, basically put everything you know about Dragon Warrior and put it in a blender, except for dungeon maps and town maps. Otherwise, everything else you can think of is randomized except for hurt more and heal more damage. Next week, we'll talk about that in a little bit, but next week is Cursed Princess Week, and we'll talk about that as we finish up.
We will indeed be talking quite a bit about Week 3 tonight once this race is over. But we've got High Spirits down right now fighting the mini-boss, that red dragon in front of Dragon Lord 1, and with those overwhelming stats, you absolutely have to like High Spirits' chances going into the final battle.
Yeah, the only thing I think that can slow down High Spirits right now is if Dragon Lord 2 does have a hidden sleep that Seawolf didn't see, and wrecks him. I think that is the only way High Spirits is in any danger here right now.
Yeah, we did get a quick peek at Dragon Lord's second form, and based on 4 turns that it got, we didn't see a sleep spell, so it could still have it. We'll just have to wait and see what transpires here. Dragon Lord 1 putting High Spirits to sleep and harmlessly flailing away. Not pleased, going to swing for 41 and move on to Dragon Lord 2. So this is definitely the moment of truth. We'll see how things go from here. Well, High Spirits does indeed land an early stop spell, so this basically should be an automatic fight barring a miss menu. So High Spirits very much looks to have this thing locked down now.
The only thing I could see is what High Spirits has 15 heal mores? No. 12 heal mores. Somehow, someway, if he gets poor RNG and Dragon Lord 2 rolls insanely high HP, maybe? But no, this High Spirit should be a decided favorite here.
That pretty much is the only way that High Spirits is not going to win this final encounter. I would have to say there's. And Dragon Lord being quite helpful to High Spirits here, using a lot of low damage physicals, allowing the High Spirits to preserve their MP even more here. And at this point we have not seen any fizzled spells from Dragon Lord 2, so sleep definitely should be out of the cards at this point.
Yeah, indeed. Meanwhile, we still have Smashy searching for Garenham, which is where we know the Rainbow Drop is, and we have Seawolf looking for a place to grind.
Yeah, Seawolf electing to gain a couple more levels here, and yeah, it certainly looks like the Dragon Lord does have a very significant chunk of hit points, so probably the correct decision by Seawolf to abandon that first attempt at Dragon Lord 2. High Spirits down to 3 heal mores remaining, so this is getting a little close-ish here now.
Yeah, this is probably a little closer for comfort than High Spirits would like. We do have Camion keeping track for us right now, and Camion is reporting 163 damage put out by High Spirits now. So this is getting a little snug here.
Oh my goodness, High Spirits perhaps down to their last attack here. And no, it was not enough. It was not enough. Dragon Lord comfortably over 200 hit points there, and some of those rolls just not quite enough. So, no, looks like it is a regular Dragon Lord. We saw no spells whatsoever, but it is an absolute mountain of hips tonight, boys and girls.
So let's do a little bit of math here. So High Spirit's attack power is 137. So you take that 37, you divide that by 2, you round down, you get 18. You take 18, divide that by 2, you get 9. So High Spirit's damage range is 9 to 18. So which means on average he'll be doing 13 and a half. So given that Dragon Lord is near max, all right, I gotta break out a calculator now.
Oh boy. We're getting some fan calc here, live on the spot, courtesy of Zedman. Let's see how this goes. What is the Dragon Lord's power level?
So on average, it looks like High Spirits is going to need 17 to 18 attacks to take down the Dragon Lord.
That sounds about right. I'm assuming we're assuming the absolute max Dragon having 30.
And once the stats come through again, we'll be able to see how many maximum. All right, so what do we have? 122 MP, so that's 80 and another 42. So that's 14 heal mores given doubles. So with max MP, it's close. Oh my, it's close.
I don't think it's particularly close. High Spirits has 15 heal mores, so that's 16 attacks, no matter what, basically. And with hit points of 124, there's a pretty reasonable chance there should be some doubles in there. It's by no means guaranteed at level 18, it seems, but it's certainly doable, and wouldn't be surprised to see High Spirits just try this again right here.
It does look like he is going to just go right for it again, which does make sense because he probably just did get RNG'd.
If High Spirits was keeping track of the amount of damage that he did and parameters for Dragon Lord 2, you have to think that trying again here is the smart play. And yes, putting Dragon Lord 1 to sleep here just to preserve a little bit more hit point resources for the next battle. We know that stop spell is not necessary, so 120 divides perfectly by 8 into a nice, relatively cozy 15 heal mores, but perhaps not as cozy as you'd like with that huge hit point stat.
And Red Jack also pointing out that the first attempt High Spirits did get back attacked. This one, he did not.
That certainly will go quite a long ways as well. And in the previous race, we had 229 hit points, one off the max. So we've had two very durable Dragon Lord 2s tonight in the back-to-back races to conclude week number 2.
Ralphian asks in chat, does Dragon Lord 2 have a spell tonight? I suppose it's theoretically possible Dragon Lord has heal, but you'd think we would have seen it by now. I mean, I think it's safe to say Dragon Lord does not in any way, shape, or form have sleep.
It's basically guaranteed it doesn't have sleep unless High Spirits just got really, in this case, unlucky because Stop Spell landed. So no, I don't think the Dragon Lord 2 can have sleep. It can still have heal, but that's also not looking too likely, as the higher its HP pool is, the more remaining HP that threshold is where it will start trying to heal itself desperately.
And Smashy did find Garenham and is now doing his reconnaissance dive. And we do have Seawolf at level 16, where 16 doesn't exactly help him much. We know level 18 is kind of like the level.
No doubt about it, Zed. 18 is definitely required. We're not positive what the stats are like at 7, because High Spirits can to gain 2 levels simultaneously at the same time from 16. Looks like it's coming down to the wire again here for High. Now only 2 heal more.
We're getting a couple of comments in chat that so far it's not looking good, that High Spirits is rolling really low.
By my count, we're at 209 damage right now. Last spell of heal more. So I think we should be fine since we're guaranteed 2 attacks. And yes, there it is. Dragon Lord is down, and High Spirits is going to be your winner in the last race of Week 2. There's going to be a lot of letter G's. I don't know why there's a lot of letter G's. I was told that it's F to pay your respects, but we'll allow that, I suppose. So it is official. High Spirits has finished with a official time of 1 hour, 5 minutes, and 47 seconds. Congratulations, High Spirits.
Indeed, that was one heck of a run. Seawolf is grinding now to get to the appropriate level, and Smashy has just gotten to level 16, which we know isn't going to do much. But Smashy now is going to grind a little bit on this red dragon, which we know is actually probably a pretty good play.
That red dragon is worth 150 a shot, and guaranteed. Smashy, very good job of catching on experience here. Seawolf has hit level 17, so this next kill should immediately put Seawolf up to 18, and we know that it's definitely doable at that level. Yep, there it is, another 7 power at 18, so there was a little bit of power at level 17. So yeah, Smashy really only 1,000 experience behind right now. After such a difficult start for Smashy, could be a pretty close finish between Smashy and Seawolf here.
Yeah, indeed, and we know at 18, even though it is possible and even possibly likely to kill the Dragon Lord at level 18, it is by no means a guaranteed thing. So, you know, if Seawolf does get RNG'd like High Spirits did on his first attempt, Smashy's right back in this.
Absolutely, right you are, Zed. So there's still to have a look for the race to second place.
And as our restreamer Lord of the Synth does mention in chat, after all of our runners have finished this race, please stick around because we will have the reveal of the Group 3 of the Week 3 groups. And in that, we will actually discuss a little bit what the flags are for next week. And they're a really interesting set of flags, in my opinion. So make sure you stay tuned for that.
It's going to be a wacky Week 3 here on Randomania. Fun to see who's all paired up together based on standing. So those players that maybe you might think that they may have had an easier or tougher road to get as far as they have, that all goes out the window next week because we are matching up the top 4, the next top 4, and so on and so forth. So there's going to be a lot of great matchups for week number 3.
And speaking of top 4, I do believe we are joined by somebody that has just guaranteed themselves a spot in the top 4. High Spirits! Good job, sir.
Thanks. He was a beefy one at the end. I did 209 the first time, and then I killed him. I did 209 before I rolled that 18 to kill him the second time.
Yes, that's quite right. So we've had 2 really beefy Dragon Lord 2s in a row here tonight. Yeah, a little disappointing on that first try there. With the stats, you'd think you have it in the bag, but with that many hit points, another try was what took her. But you were comfortably ahead on experience at that point, so as unfortunate as the first loss was, you were still able to comfortably get back in there, try again, and finish things out in style.
Yeah, after about 15 minutes getting tired trying to find Magidrakies, I finally decided to explore, and hallelujah, I found those towns, I got a broadsword, and everything else in that zone gave a million experience, so it took me forever
Yeah,
to get
the
started, but once I
exploration
did, I
was
was...
definitely key in this siege. Trying to level up manually did not work out. Smashy had perhaps the longest single encounter that we've ever seen in one of these tournaments, slapping away at a blue dragon before finally trying to explore. Finding those two towns was paramount. That broadsword made all the difference. You basically immediately went to level 11 after 3 battles once you picked that up.
Yeah, once I got over there and I hit the wizard and it died from 4 damage, I was like, oh, you're kidding me. I was like, my thought going through my head was, I hope no one crit that wizard, otherwise I lost.
No one had no such luck swinging away at that. Pretty much everyone was just spotted aside by the wizard and gave it any serious tries after seeing that it had pretty significant attack power.
Yeah, it took me forever to find that stupid noodle, and when I did, it gave 6 experience.
Well, that wouldn't actually be the noodle. The typical doodle monster always gives between 16 and 64 experience, so between the three of you, we're actually not sure what that enemy is.
Oh, so we never actually found the noodle, huh? Because we started with 29 agility. No. Yeah, we started with 29 agility, so I was like, things are hitting me for 2 and 3. That can't be the noodle. So I was like, that's why when I got to like a blue dragon, I did 5 damage to it, didn't kill it, I just reset. You know, I fought the Draki when I did 5 damage to it and it didn't die, I just reset. You know, I was like, I have too much of agility for these things, the wet noodle, to be hitting me for 3. So where the heck is this noodle hiding?
Yeah, absolutely. Things didn't necessarily go too well for you at the start, but all those resets are certainly justified. You were definitely gaming the system, so to say, to get right back in there and have another hunt for what that first kill was meant to be. You were actually second to find the towns. The Seawolf managed the hero walk inside of the mountain cave and picked up the armor quite early on, so Seawolf was the first to pick up that broadsword and get those quick early kills.
Yeah, that's another thing that went through my mind is when I got to that armor, I'm like, crap. Because, like, at the beginning of the seed, I went in there and I started walking and I got about 3 steps away from that chest before I got into, like, 3 encounters in a row that I couldn't run from. And then it's like, when I go back there after hitting the levels, I'm like, if only I would have survived 3 more steps, I could have had this armor. I hope no one else did, because that was going to get me in trouble, too.
You were actually the last to get to the armor by a pretty significant amount. Both Seawolf and Smash pretty early on. Seawolf elected to explore with the armor, whereas Smashy elected to grind, so that put Smashy considerably behind early on after that nearly 10-minute battle with the Blue Dragon early on. And Seawolf has just finished off their Dragon Lord 2 fight on the first try. So congratulations to Seawolf, who is your runner-up in this 3-player race with an official time of 1 hour, 12 minutes, and 44 seconds. And I believe Seawolf will be joining us momentarily. In the meantime, by all means, High Spirits, continue to tell us thoughts about what turned out to be a perhaps difficult seed at the start, but kind of just flew by from there until the very end.
There was probably 3 or 4 instances where I said, I lost if someone did this. I already named 2 of them where I hope someone didn't crit one of these monsters that gave 160 experience in the desert. And then I found it with the armor. And then when I decided to go exploring, I went north of Charlock first instead of south where all of the good stuff was. So I was like, I'm just finding Brecconary and useless stuff. I hope I hope someone didn't go south first or I was going to be in trouble. But then I found the Rainbow Drop Cave and I'm like, that's in a really obnoxious place. I probably found it before everyone else.
We've just had a peek at the Dragon Lord 2's stats here. The Dragon Lord 2 had 226 hit points in this seed, so you weren't quite exact on the number. You did 1 more damage than necessary, but sometimes more is better than less.
Yeah, he was beefy. That's practically max.
Yeah, we've had a 229 and a 226 tonight, so that's quite the way to end off our first Chaos Week here in the 2020 League. And it looks like Smashy has decided to throw in the towel. We've seen their stream go down, and yes, the forfeit is official there. Smashy with a pretty valiant attempt to finish things off there against Dragon Lord 2, but just Dragon Lord having none of that, it seems.
I made a bunch of whoopsies.
He was pretty beefy, that Dragon Lord.
Thanks for joining us, Smashy. I believe we have Seawolf here as well. Seawolf, little quiet on your end. Not sure if you're able to bring that microphone up or not.
Okay, so if it isn't, first off, if it isn't blatantly obvious, I, for some reason, thought directly north of Charlock was a dead end for a while.
Actually, that's where I explored first when I got out, so I went up there. There was a lot of nothing except for the rainbow drop kind of hiding in the corner.
Yeah, I don't even think I found Cantlin or Breckenary, so I kind of ended the game with no shield.
Yeah, that certainly didn't help your attempt at the Dragon Lord 2 there with that massive HP total. I'm not sure if you were counting your damages.
I wasn't.
The second form had 226 hit points in this seed, so it was more than a brick wall. That thing was a nuclear safety bunker.
Yeah, definitely wouldn't go down. Had no abilities, thank goodness, but just kept taking hits and just didn't care.
But yeah, I missed Cole by, I think, maybe 2 spaces, and that kind of had the broadsword you needed to break out.
Yeah, no, I found
start.
Cole. I had like
yeah,
3 or 4 walks
Smashy,
to
that
it,
was
and I got
really
stopped
unfortunate for you not having that.
Yeah, because I decided to blink a blue dragon to death 1 and 2 HP at a time, and then it turns out it was actually one of the monsters that didn't give a lot in this.
Yeah, it only got you up to level 3, which wasn't really enough strength to break out there, and we were commentating on it that has to have been the longest battle that we've ever seen in one of these races. But yeah, that broadsword was absolutely essential to getting on your feet power-wise at the start of this seed. So that set you behind quite a bit, but you made very good progress in catching up on experience from there. So you weren't as out of the race as you may have thought, but you were definitely behind.
Did anybody get a count on my damage? Because I hit the stop spell on DL1, then hit the stop spell on DL2, and from there just plink away and hope that I do enough, and it's like, well, it's not dying, and then I somehow get that extra attack out at the end, and that is enough. And by that point, Seawolf had already finished, so it's just like, what do you do?
Yeah, I understand. Unfortunately, can't say that I was counting your damage on the attempt there. May have gotten distracted by chatting a bit with our other racers and being excited for what we'll be announcing very soon for the upcoming week number 3, but based on what I've seen from the other 2 races, you were likely maybe 1 or 2 attacks away, and just unfortunate the way that the rolls panned out, because even at level 18, you did need a little bit of good luck. It was by no means free with that mountain of hit points.
Yeah, it definitely took some time to get those levels, because they got running from me, but definitely required to get those extra 2 at the end there.
So, High Spirits, any final thoughts on the race tonight?
It took a long time to level, that's for sure. Once we got past level 11, it started needing thousands for every level, and it got kind of annoying. But thankfully, if their experience was no shortage in this seed, there was more than half the enemies gave 100, 150, 200 plus experience.
Right, you are. It was a very experience-rich seed, and just being able to swat aside so many enemies while you were exploring earlier on with that broadsword, or throwing Hurtmores at some of the more durable monsters, definitely allowed you to build experience while you were exploring the map. So, yeah, very nice there. I know we haven't talked to you too much yet, Seawolf, but did you have any thoughts or final thoughts on the race tonight?
Just a lot of enemies gave you experience, but a lot of enemies that didn't give you experience were very fast, very hard to hit, and very hard to run from. So if you got caught, like the scorpions, the droll magi, basically all Charlock basically was just a bunch of annoying. Even the red dragon was kind of like really fast, really annoying, not dangerous, but like just no reward for fighting them, and couldn't get out of the way fast enough. So there's a lot of like just empty space in Charlock. I was going to go there for grind at the end, see if there's a monster worth grinding there. And no, they're all scorpion, rose scorpion, red dragon, just little like I cast hurt. You can't run from me, and just stupid things like you can't hit them with the sword. Even at level 18, you're doing like 5 damage to them. So their agility's out the wazoo. So,
yeah, we were talking about enemies that had high XP yield, but outside of the guaranteed red dragon tile in Charlotte, the monsters in there largely were not worth fighting, and that is actually what Smashy did to make up the final experience deficit towards the end. Smashy got a few quick levels on that red dragon at the end, and it looked like it was going to be a pretty close finish for a second between the two of you there. Smashy, did you have any more thoughts about this one before we move on to what we're going to be expecting for week number 3?
Just sometimes that's how my experience was just how it pans out. You just miss something, and then it's just like, what do you do about it? Although I will say that missing that there was actually a path north of Charlock is completely on me. I think I died to a Drakima the first time I went up there, and just thought for some reason, because it was early on, it just got stuck in my head that dead ended, and then I think I spent a good 10-15 minutes combing over the map that we had available, just trying to find that miss a spot, and then it finally clicked, and it's just like,
yeah, there was some.
Yeah, I understand.
Really out there locations.
From watching the race, it certainly did look like you thought that it was a dead end up there. We saw you return to the second continent after you got the stones and basically comb the coastline the whole way through there, and I at least was kind of wondering why you were back there. But as you mentioned, turns out that you did not think to have a look at the northern part beyond Charlock. And Smashy, this may depress you a little bit to hear. We're looking at the stats for that infamous blue dragon, and it had 103 hit points. So that's an absurd number of rounds of combat that you took for that kill.
Yeah, and then I find out the Stoneman has like under 30, and it's just like,
And the wizard had 4. That was my first accidental, like, I got a broadsword.
Yeah, that was the first thing
okay.
I killed with the broadsword. I found a wizard in Swamp Cave, and I just swat at it and did 5 damage, and it fell over, and I was like, oh.
Darn.
Yeah, those wizards were very nice in the early going.
Can I see the Stoneman? I want to see the agility on that, because if that had...
That Stoneman looking entirely reasonable there, and as we did see, it was another one of those fairly chunky enemies experience-wise. That if you decided to commit to a Stoneman instead of a Blue Dragon, this could have been a very different result for you. Just looking at that 90 difference in the hit points when you're swinging away back and forth for ones the whole time.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. That was the first Blue Dragon that made a series go, and it's just like, okay, I can damage this thing. Let's just fight. And there
was a point early on in that fight where I had wondered aloud whether or not you were going to consider the sunk cost fallacy and just abandon what you had put into it, or if it was a matter of in for a penny, in for a pound, and that obviously ended up being what it was.
I mean, it's like it could die on the next hit. As it turns out,
absolutely.
I said that about 50 times. It could die on the next hit. It could die on the... great. I just spent 10 minutes fighting this thing. I didn't even get where I need to be.
Certainly not a result that you were wanting, but I do have to say that for all our viewers, I think it's very entertaining, this marathon battle against the Blue Dragon. So thank you for entertaining us quite a bit with that battle.